Hey y'all, happy Friday. Today, I have three main topics that I want to discuss. First, we have to talk about Harry and Meghan's donation to Masaka Kids ahead of the Netflix release of Masaka Kids, A Rhythm Within. Second, we have an update from Feminagra, and y'all know I trust them above all other media sources right now, especially when it comes to Harry and Meghan. And they brought some hard-hitting facts regarding the whole picture situation regarding Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. But before we even get into that, y'all know I went over the rumors and I debunked a couple of them, but some of them I was still like, we don't know, we're still waiting on information. And when I have new info, I'll update you. Well, today we have new info and I'm going to make good on that promise. But also, do you know how powerful and important you have to be for you to dominate headlines for well over a week based on photos removed of you? Like, it's always so funny when these little random incidences pop up because we know what they're for and we know what's driving them. But I don't think the people who drive them for their own personal delight and for their own personal motivations, I don't think they zoom out enough and recognize I'm only admitting just how relevant these people are by keeping this story alive, even if it's for my own personal gain as far as painting them in a certain way or pushing a certain narrative. By simply doing that, I'm only reminded, and I'm reminding everyone else, just how important they are. It's one of those things that alchemizes. What's meant for harm will always alchemize for good in your own world. So, you can continue to push these narratives. Oh, they're irrelevant, or oh, people hate them, or oh, they're not on the A-list. Mind you, them just simply living their lives debunk all of that nonsense. Not that anyone with a brain would ever believe that crap, but for those that need a little help, not trying to be ugly, but for those that need a little help getting over the hump, the fact that Harry and Meghan just exist and leave their house debunks all of that crap. So I always find it kind of funny that the very people who are trying to push those negative stereotypes and those negative narratives about Harry and Meghan are only proving the opposite, and they're not smart enough to know better. It's actually kind of funny. I wish they would stop wasting their own time, but you can't stop a hater from doing what they do best. Also, we have to talk about some changes when it comes to staff members that formerly worked for Archwell, as well as one who still works for Archwell. We have a lot to get into, so let's get started. Hey y'all, happy Friday. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about three main topics. We reviewed them in the intro, so before we get into them, if you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Our first topic is actually quite timely since we just took a look at the trailer for Masaka Kids, A Rhythm Within that was shared across social media, including Meghan's Instagram. And the release date, December 9th, was announced that it will be released on Netflix. So I'm excited to get into the donation of $50,000 made to Masaka Kids Africana through Archwell Foundation. This article with this information is in Feminagra. It's written by Miss Historian, and it's titled, Meghan and Harry Donate $50,000 to Masaka Kids ahead of Netflix release. That is a lot of money. Good for them. Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex have added real-world impact to their next Netflix release. With the documentary only weeks away from its December 9th premiere, Harry and Meghan made a $50,000 donation through their Archwell Foundation to support Masaka Kids Africana. The gift directly supported the Ugandan dance troupe featured in the film. It also showed how closely they stay involved with the communities connected to their projects. How the donation came together. News of the donation arrived when Masaka Kids Africana's GoFundMe page reflected a sudden leap to more than half its goal. The Archwell Foundation appeared as the top donor with a $50,000 contribution, giving the fundraiser a visible boost. The support aligned with Archwell's mission to uplift youth and community-driven organizations, a theme the Sussexes have emphasized since the foundation's launch in 2020. The dance troupe has a long connection to the couple. Harry and Meghan first discovered Masaka Kids Africana during the early days of the COVID pandemic, watching their viral videos with their son, Archie. A spokesman later confirmed that the family followed the group long before Netflix approached them about a film. Oh, I love that. The Netflix trailer arrives. On the same day the donation was made public, Netflix released the trailer for Masaka Kids, A Rhythm Within. The documentary follows the children of the Masaka region as they use dance to heal and form community. It offers a closer look at the group behind the global viral clips. It will also introduce viewers to a story shaped by resilience. Meghan shared a preview on her Instagram stories, drawing more attention to the upcoming release. The film arrives as part of the couple's renewed first look deal with Netflix, which also includes her lifestyle series with Love Meghan and a holiday special premiering early December, actually December 3rd. What comes next for the project? The documentary debuts on December 9th. It joins a slate of content that reflects the couple's interest in stories rooted in hope and everyday strength. Their donation ensures that the children who appear in the film receive direct support at a key moment for their organization. I absolutely love that. Again, this is just yet another example of Harry and Meghan putting up the resources needed to help the groups that they are also featuring by offering them space on their very, very massive platform. I find this to be kind of like burning the candle at both ends, but in a good way, offering you visibility, offering you resources, helping other people with resources to discover you. I think all in all, it's just an amazing way to support not only a region, but the dance troupe in general. After watching the trailer, they gave so much information in that trailer about how these kids came together, what the purpose is, and also their massive growth in such a short amount of time. I look forward to watching this documentary. I'm super excited about it. What did you guys think of the trailer? And are you excited to watch the documentary? I cannot wait. I'm absolutely going to review it. And I've actually been watching their YouTube since the announcement of A Rhythm Within. So I cannot wait to see this in full. You guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. For our next topic, Feminegra is bringing facts to the stories and rumors that surrounded why the Kardashians removed photos of Harry and Meghan from inside of Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. Now, at the time, even then, I still didn't see the big deal in that. Celebrities post and delete all the time. And my assumption was it was likely the Kardashian social media team just realizing we didn't do all of our due diligence. Let's take these down until we do. But one thing we were able to do in that initial conversation was debunk a bunch of the nonsense and the rumors and the quotes and blah, blah, blah. Now, we got a lot of that riffraff out of the way, but I was still waiting on more information before I touched the subject again. So now that we have more facts from a trusted source, Feminegra, I want to revisit and give their perspective. So the title of this article is Why Harry and Meghan Asked Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian to Remove Party Photos. To be fair, that's their prerogative. It's their image. They can do with it what they want. But also, they looked fabulous in the photos. They looked wonderful in every single photo. But that's not the point. The point is they have a right to ask for whatever they want when it comes to their images. When photos of Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex briefly appeared on Kris Jenner's and Kim Kardashian's Instagram posts after Jenner's 70th birthday party, the internet immediately spun itself into a frenzy. Y'all, it really did. If you aren't on other social media platforms, because I know a lot of people who are on YouTube have chosen to kind of not be on Twitter and Instagram, and I fully understand, and genuinely, I am counting down the days until that is my situation because I'm genuinely over social media. But that's beside the point. If you're not on those other platforms and you didn't see it, it was a mess. And I know that that's an understatement, but I can't think of a better description. It was such an unnecessary fury over photos. I genuinely don't get it. It's not even like there were photos of anything salacious or anything interesting or anything like, oh, well, Harry and Meghan were doing keg stands or anything crazy. It was just the fact that the photos were removed, not the photos themselves, that was causing the frenzy. And I'm sitting here like, everyone in the situation that we're talking about has a prerogative to ask for them to be removed and to remove them. Like, it's genuinely not that big of a deal. But that has never stopped the internet from being the internet. The images disappeared almost as quickly as they were uploaded, fueling talk of shade, snubs, and Hollywood drama. The real reason turned out to be far simpler. It always does. Harry and Meghan had declined permission for photos taken inside the event to be shared publicly, and once that preference was flagged, the posts were removed. Boom! That's somewhat what I assumed. I did say that the Kardashian-Jenner social media team probably realized we didn't do our due diligence and remove them. Now, what I didn't know was that there was any talk of a consent form. At the time that we discussed it, it was super early in the whole situation in general. But since that time, more information has come out about consent forms that weren't signed. So let's see if Feminagra gives us all of those details as well. But that was somewhat of what I assumed. I just genuinely feel like you can look at a situation like that and say, it's probably not as interesting as people want it to be. It's just that people don't, it's just that people sometimes act before thinking, and they have teams to correct that behavior. It's probably as simple as that. What followed online said more about the speculation surrounding the couple than about the decision itself. The explanation was clear. The photos came down because the couple had already said no. That makes sense. The photo form that answered every question. Guests invited to Jenner's celebration received a consent form about photo sharing in advance. Harry and Meghan marked their preference clearly and chose not to be included in public posts from inside the event. When Jenner and Kim shared images featuring the couple, the post came down soon after. Boom, they corrected their mistake. Reports by people familiar with the situation confirmed that the Sussexes were not upset. Now, pause there. Even in my initial conversation about this, we talked about that. The only people who claimed to be in firsthand contact with Harry and Meghan regarding this, or their team, they even said they were kind and firm. But then they also went on to say they were furious. And even then we debunked that in discussion by saying, how were they kind but also furious? That ain't how kind works. And that ain't how furious works. But anyway, let's continue. Their stance reflected a consistent approach to privacy rather than any discomfort with the party itself. I also said then, if they weren't comfortable with the guests at the party or anything in relation to the party, they simply wouldn't have gone. So all of the stories that they went there and they shaded the Kardashians and then the Kardashians shaded them, I'm genuinely like, people have to stop projecting, one, but also people have to stop projecting and use common sense. I'm going to need them to do two things, because everyone in this situation, they are human beings. They are not limited to the scope of behaviors that you yourself are willing to do. So while you might feel forced to invite people that you know or friends of friends and family because you don't want to rub anyone the wrong way, these are celebrities who have millions of dollars. They don't have to make friends with anybody they don't want to. They don't have to appeal to anybody they don't feel like appealing to. They don't have to party with anybody they don't want to party with. That's either inviting or accepting an invitation. They don't have to do a damn thing they don't want to do. So to say, well, she invited them because it's good for her image. Who? Kris has never really been one to care about her image. Not trying to be a jerk, but when your daughter makes your whole family famous from a sex tape, you kind of throw that kind of stuff, that respectability stuff out of the window. You kind of have to be willing to ride the wave of celebrity. And Kris Jenner has never been one to shy away from like the aspects of celebrity that some people are just not so comfortable with. She's never been one to say, oh, privacy is the number one thing. As a matter of fact, she's gone on record a number of times in interviews and on her own show. It said, even when she had her own talk show, and she said, our family had to pretty much come to terms with, we're not going to hide anything, because if we have a reality show and we have cameras inside our home, this is who we are. We have to be willing to be game and play ball. Now, that only extends to the people who consented to that. So the fact that her party included consent forms shows a massive consideration for those outside of herself and her family. I think that is a great way to go about connecting your world to other people, even when those people have their own limitations. I think that was a great call to have consent forms. And I think it was great that when it was revealed that, hey, these are actually two people who did not sign those, let's go ahead and take them down. They respected their guests. No one ever said that you won't ever make a mistake, but when you can be accountable, make the mistake, be accountable, and then fix it, I think that says a lot about you. Good for Kris Jenner for fixing that. Now, should they have checked the consent forms before they posted? Sure, but they were probably super excited to post these beautiful pictures. I'm glad they corrected it. And I couldn't imagine, even then I said, I can't imagine Harry and Meghan being upset about that, especially since when they made their request, if they did make a request, it came down. You can only hope that people oblige your requests and fix their problems or fix their mistake and go on. Again, I just think this is an issue of, one, people wanting the worst or expecting the worst from Harry and Meghan, and two, projecting their own limitations onto other people they don't know. Again, that's not Harry and Meghan, nor is it Kim or Kris's problem. How the internet turned a simple boundary into a saga. Once the posts disappeared, online debates ignited with predictable speed. Snub theories made the rounds on social media within minutes. Some assumed friction between the families. Others imagined silent drama or a secret tension. None of it reflected the truth. The consent form explained everything, yet speculation formed long before facts surfaced. I mean, that's how the internet works. Critics seized the moment to recycle familiar talking points about hypocrisy or attention seeking. These reactions followed a long running pattern where the couple's choices trigger opposite interpretations depending on the crowd. A small group reported the update factually, but most commentary leaned into ongoing online tribalism. That's a wonderful way to explain that, but also people don't want the truth, they want sensationalism. They are not interested in correcting the story or even having a correct story. They just want their name attached to a crazy ass headline to get some kind of traction, and then they want to go on about their business. None of it is meant to be done with integrity. It's not even considered their own professional reputation. That's the part that kind of baffles me. Have we gotten so low when it comes to the media? Now, I'm not a part of professional media by any means, and I'm not a reporter. I'm not a journalist by any means. I'm just a person who talks shit on the internet. But have we as a society accepted such a low standard for media that at this point, no one even cares to have a reputation anymore? At this point, no one even cares how they're seen. It's kind of like they all just accepted, we're going to do dirt. Let's just stop with the charade of pretending we have integrity. It's really sad. It's almost like every single publication is now operating based on the National Enquirer standards. I remember when the National Enquirer was like, low tier and people kind of made fun of their tactics. Now it seems those same tactics have been adopted by every platform. It's crazy to see that happen in real time. Now, the media has never been anybody's friend, nor has it ever been 100% trustworthy, but there were still standards and there were still key people in the media who you could somewhat trust and say, well, they're not going to attach their name to some bullshit and they're only going to use real sources and they're always going to operate with integrity. It is becoming harder to find those people, and those people are becoming fewer and far between, where we're not actually able to figure out who is and who isn't doing this for a job and a career, and more so just doing this to spread their own personal biases and use their platform and the platform of their work and the platform of their companies to perpetuate hate against their own people with their own personal biases. It's actually kind of sad to me. For example, I won't name names because I don't want to make this about them, but there are several people who had thriving careers people would kill for, and they chose to tank them because they were racist and they could not handle the fact that the British royal family had a person who was Black in it. And they tanked their careers. And now their whole career can be summed up as tabloid fodder and a microphone. To me, it's kind of like what you put out actually comes back. So there's that, because their hate and disdain didn't stop anything for Harry and Meghan by any means. If anything, it was only alchemized to help them thrive. But there you are, sitting in the doldrums, in the pit of hell, pretending that this stuff matters to you, all because you decided not to stand up for what was right, all because you decided not to operate with integrity, all because you decided to trade in your career to be racist. How sad. And it seems like, I would love to say that's an isolated thing, but it seems like more and more these media pundits, these journalists, these reporters, they're all doing the same thing. At what point do we stop? It's going to take more publications like Feminagra for us to popularize them and for us to give them the traction and for us to share and post and repost them and their articles and their integrity for advertisers to put money behind reputable platforms. That's what it takes, is for us to show what we want. That's why I always recommend reading Feminagra. A privacy preference turned into a digital spectacle that stretched far beyond the scope of the original posts. What this moment shows about Harry and Meghan now. The choice to opt out of photo sharing shows how Harry and Meghan manage their visibility now. They no longer play into demands to prove where they belong or who they know, They show up when they want to, enjoy their night, and keep control over what becomes public. Boom. The decision is consistent with their long-standing approach to privacy. It shows that they refuse to let online noise set their boundaries. If I could clap, I would, but I don't want to put that in y'all's ear through this microphone, but I genuinely want to clap at that line. They refuse to let online noise set their boundaries. I know that's right. Critics, meanwhile, tried to spin it into another drama, even though the explanation was straightforward. Choosing not to appear in social media posts is allowed, even at high-profile events where sharing is the norm. Well, their norm is not everyone's norm. Their appearance at Jenner's party showed a couple who felt at ease and enjoyed the evening on their terms. The limit they set didn't affect the event. It only challenged the assumptions people tried to place on them. Also, I want to make it clear, they didn't go to the event and change the dynamic at the event. They were asked if they were giving consent, and they clearly stated what their boundary was and what their choice was. I highly doubt if they had a problem with the photos being shared and they weren't asked whether or not they consented, I highly doubt they would have attended. I'm sure that was a I'm sure that was a way for them to feel comfortable enjoying the evening, knowing that those protections were in place. So anyway, Harry and Meghan did not permit photos taken inside the party to be shared publicly, which is why the posts disappeared. They did not treat the reaction as a crisis or a slight. They simply declined to participate in a cycle they have moved beyond. Early claims about shade collapsed once the facts came out, leaving the loudest voices scrambling for new angles. Their approach reflects a clear definition of privacy. Choosing what to share is not secrecy, it is control. Honestly, it should be mutual respect. I have a right to share what I want on my own behalf. I don't have the right to share you based on my own terms and my own limitations. I should respect the other people, whether I'm throwing the party or not. I should respect the other people who are in proximity to me. If it is my event, I should respect them and their boundaries. And if I ask them clearly what their preference is and they tell me and I go against that, it is my job to fix it, which Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian did. I don't feel like anyone was wrong in this other than posting them before checking, which that could have just been an oversight. It could have also been we know that they said, no, let's post them real quick, let the internet grab them, and then let's take them down. I don't know. I won't assume the worst, but I am saying that's an interesting mistake to make. Anyway, and they no longer engage in any game that demands proof of belonging or legitimacy. Their answer sits in the form they signed before they walked through the door. Wonderful article, Feminagra. Now, again, this is linked in the description box below under sources. I wanted to share this because I did start the conversation early on, and I wanted to follow up with more information now that we have it, because at the time we didn't have any of this information. We only had the online speculation. And even then, before we had any of the facts, we still had common sense. So most of those stories didn't sound true in general, but it is great to have clarity. And this is why I depend on Feminagra. I really appreciate that they have no problem investigating, getting to the bottom of things, and speaking quite clearly. What do you guys think of the outcome of this? Is this what you assumed? Now, I know a lot of people, like myself, I said this was possible too. A lot of people felt it was probably trolls. And that was also in the back of my mind as well. I was like, maybe it was the trolls, because until you've endured the derangers, it can be a bit of a shock how rabid they are. Like, they are genuinely raccoons with what is it? Rabies. You know how rabies, how they're depicted with that foamy mouth and those wild eyes and the crazy hands. That is how I picture derangers typing on their keyboards every time. When I read their little comments, I'm like, oh, someone got out of their cage. Like, I never take them seriously, but they do operate in droves, and it can be overwhelming for people who haven't encountered them. Now, for me, I just block them all. Usually when you block one, a bunch of accounts go down at the same time. There's a reason for that. But anyway, typically when you haven't encountered them, it can be overwhelming. I know the first few times I encountered them, remember, they took my page down. Y'all remember when they were successful and just taking me off of YouTube? Now YouTube works with me to like make sure that never happens again. And they definitely double check those kinds of complaints that come through. But the first time that happened was insane. My whole page came down. They are rabid. They are psychotic. So for people who endure them for the first time, it can be a lot. So I assumed it maybe had something to do with that, as well as their team just realized we didn't get permission. Let's take this down. So it's great to have the clarity. But what do you guys think of this outcome? Is this what you assumed was the situation? If not, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And if anybody needs to have this repeated, I don't know why you would be here, but Harry and Meghan have a right to set their boundaries, as does every other human being in this world. Everyone has a right to set and assert and enforce their own boundaries. And you have the right to decide whether or not you plan to respect those boundaries. And if you don't have to interact with that person. That is your option. Respect the boundaries or get the hell on. And everyone has that right to set those boundaries for themselves. Anyway, good for Harry and Meghan. They're not playing your game anymore. Okay, so for our last topic, this is coming to us from Marie Claire, written by Kristen Contino, and is titled Prince Harry and Meghan's former communications director teams up with another Archwell alum in strategic new role. On Wednesday, November 12th, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's former global press secretary and head of communications, Ashley Hansen, announced that she's hiring another Sussex alum, Kyle Boulia, at reputation management firm Forward Global. Boulia, who served as a deputy press secretary and director of communications for Harry and Meghan from April 2024 through June 2025, has taken on the role of principal at the firm. Wow. In addition to providing strategic communication services to high-level clients, he'll assist with the expansion of the company's Los Angeles office. Hansen, who serves as managing partner at Forward Global, called bringing Boulia on board a deliberate and strategic decision, one rooted in trust, collaboration, and an appreciation for excellence. Pause right there. What a wonderful way to describe your new team member or new/old team member, and that must be a wonderful way to feel, or must feel wonderful to hear your new boss or old boss, whatever, speak that way about you. But something about this cadence sounds identical to the Sussex.com and the Archwell.org updates. They all follow that 3-adjective cadence that has this all over it. I mean, it's no problem. It's not a bad thing, but it's just so funny that they follow the same cadence. I can definitely see where she was probably weighing in when it comes to being director of communications, because it sounds exactly like that. Quote, having worked with Kyle before, I've seen firsthand his unmatched dedication, creative tenacity, and commitment to delivering his clients results that move the needle, she continued. He embodies the forward-thinking spirit we're building here, and I couldn't imagine a stronger first hire to expand our West Coast presence. Forward Global works with companies in entertainment, media, technology, and other sectors to provide communications, risk management, cybersecurity, and other services. Prior to his role with the Duke and Duchess, Boulia worked with Hansen at top Hollywood talent agency UTA as a communications executive at UTA, overseeing messaging across offices in Los Angeles, New York, Nashville, Atlanta, Chicago, and London. Oh, that's incredible. In June, Harry and Meghan's chief communications officer, Meredith Maines, released a statement about the 4 employees who departed, writing, quote, as the Duke and Duchess's business and philanthropic interests grow, I have made the strategic decision to move toward a more traditional communication structure of specialist agency support, as previously reported in Forbes and PR several weeks ago. Okay. She added, transitioning from a team of 2 to an agency support staff of 8 operating across 5 different time zones will give international media and stakeholders better access and critically faster response times to inquiries. That makes perfect sense. I mean, again, when those changes were happening, I feel like everybody who's ever worked in corporate was like, yeah, I mean, as you grow and change, you have to expand your team. This makes sense. But anyway, what do you guys think of this? This is great. It also shows that Harry and Meghan know a thing or two about building great teams as they continue to work together long after they've even worked with them. This is wonderful. I wish the best for everyone involved. What do you guys think of this news? Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. Surprise, I have a bonus topic. So, celebrity astrologer Angela Pearl posted on her Instagram 2 days ago. I didn't get a chance to post, so I thought today would be a good day to end the week on this. I thought it was a really sweet post that she put up. It's a photo of herself with Harry and Meghan when they were in New York City, and you can tell by Meghan's beautiful dress. We talked about that date night look. And the caption says, still in awe of this special evening. Thank you, Prince Harry and Meghan, for the warm invitation and inspiring conversation. I would love to be a fly on the wall. I want to know what they talked about. And she posted and redacted so much of the conversation or of this letter. And I love that people respect their privacy, or at least people in their circle respect their privacy this way. I thought that was super considerate. And it says, Dear Angela, we wanted to thank you for joining us. Your energy and insight were such a welcome addition. On a separate note, we hope your family in Ukraine remains safe, and we look forward to staying in touch, especially as we look to visit Australia again. Best wishes, Harry and Meghan. I thought that was beautiful. This was sent on October 24th of this year. What do you guys think of this? While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and like it. And I just followed her. This is the first I'm ever hearing of her, but y'all already know what I like to do. I'm going on a deep dive. I'm going to learn everything about her. We do know that Prince Harry has worked with psychics and astrologers before. So did his mother, Princess Diana. He is very open-minded about things like that. So I would love to know what they talked about. It's also not my business, so I don't have to know, but curiosity. But anyway, what did you guys think of this post? I thought it was super sweet. And on that note, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you have such a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a great week. Yesterday was my wedding anniversary. We made it to 9 years. Whoop, whoop. So y'all know where you could find us. Capitol Grill, eating up one of those grand plateaus. Oh my God, it was so good. We went to Capitol Grill in Plano last night. And we had a really good time. But our anniversary that we really celebrate is December 5th. That's the anniversary of us becoming a couple. And I don't know if other couples do this. Y'all let me know, because I just think it's weird. But we have gotten in a habit of celebrating our marriage anniversary, and we kind of go all out for that, and it's nice. But the one that like captures us, like we take off work, we do something big, is the relationship anniversary. And for that one, we are actually hitting 13 years on December 5th. So I'm so excited. I'm returning to Capitol Grill, but I think I'm going to hit up downtown Dallas this time for another Grand Plateau. But anyway, I cannot wait. So that's where I was yesterday, celebrating our anniversary. It was wonderful. And this weekend, we're going to keep celebrating. I cannot wait. We're going to have an old school pizza party. So we're watching Shrek, The Lion King. I was able to find a cart with a fatback TV to wheel into our living room. We're having pizza sliced extremely thin, and we're having the worst paper plates, and we're going to have little red cups filled with M&Ms and Skittles and Starburst and popcorn and those big liters of soda, but not good soda, the off-brand. We planned this celebration weeks ago because we were talking about some of those random odd millennial memories that you have from school, like rain days or at the end of the school year or right before a holiday when things slow down and the teachers are just looking to fill your time while you're there, and they roll in that big fat back TV and they bring in all those snacks, and they're never quite good, but they taste good because you're at school, and there's a specific way they do them with like slicing the pizza slices very thin. We were talking about missing that and just how much nostalgia that brought us, as well as the little movies they picked, like The Page Master, Shrek, The Lion King, Fern Gully. So I was able to find that on eBay, a cart, fatback TV, a VCR, and all of those movies. And we are going to have ourselves an old school rain day. I am so excited. Now, how this correlates to our marriage, I don't know, but something about it just makes perfect sense, because although we did a really nice dinner, this has been what we've both been like counting down for. Anyway, now I'm going to have a fatback TV and a cart in my storage building for no real reason at all. So there's that. But anyway, I cannot wait. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend as well. I'm also going to be posting part 2 of Virginia Giuffre's Nobody's Girl recap for the members and Patreon members. And for Patreon, you guys got 3 new videos this week. So I hope you guys are enjoying those. About to go and read your comments and respond right now. Once again, thank y'all so much for supporting the channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.